going to be the tutorial that's going to show you how to do the royal lace vest. And to do this tutorial, you're going to need at least 2 of these, at least for the smaller size that I made. I used 2 full ones of these. I would get a third just in case if you're going to make a bigger size than the one that I made. I made one for a 20-something-year-old. Could also probably fit a teenager about that size if they're skinny. If not, then you definitely want to get at least 3 or maybe even 4 skeins. But I used 2 full ones. And this is 100 grams or 240 meters. It's 45% acrylic and 55% viscose. Viscose is really great because it doesn't allow too much stretching on the yarn, which is really important for lacy projects. You don't want a lot of stretching after you've made the garment. It's only 55%, but I'm hoping that it's going to help. You can find this on my shop. It's July 29th, 2014, so right now it's on my shop, but maybe later on you can't find this anymore, like next year, but check anywhere on my shop because there may be another line. New yarn comes out every year, so take a look at that. Now, you're also going to need a 5mm hook or a size H hook, and also a tape measure. Very, very important with the tape measure because this is how you're going to get your sizing. Now let's talk a little bit about the sizing. Like I told you, mine was made for a 20-something-year-old, probably fits a teenager. And the stitch pattern, the total amount of the stitch pattern is going to be 36 stitches. But you'll always begin with 72 stitches, and then you will add 36 stitches as you want to make the garment bigger. I mean, I say inches, 36 stitches. So you'll start with the base of 72 stitches, and then you'll just increase 36 stitches as you want to make it bigger. So first you want to make your 72 with me, because I'm going to be showing you from point to point 72 stitches. So you'll want to do that for a few rows. Then you'll want to stop and measure those rows. 72 stitches is just 36 times 2. It's just done twice. So you can measure how much it is, the 72 stitches by half, and see how much with the yarn that you're using and how thick, how tight or loose that you crochet, you'll know about how big that your garment's going to be per 36 stitches. So then you can take the garment, or the measurement I should say, of the person that you want to make this for, and measure the total amount of inches or centimeters that you need. So then you can take, this is centimeters by the way, so you can take your garment and measure it, how much about half of the 72 stitches that you're about to do is going to be, and then count that as many extra times that you need to get to the measurement that you need. I can't tell you how big you're going to make it. This is one of those projects for fitting somebody that you're going to have to measure the person, and you're going to have to decide on how big that you're crocheting and your tightness and the size of the yarn, and everything comes into play when you're making a garment. So it's so important that you learn to measure and make a graph. So get your measuring tape, get your yarn, get your 5mm hook, size H hook, and then let's get started. Okay, when you're doing your chaining, don't chain too tight and don't chain too loose. Try to have kind of a not too tight chain like this. Not too tight, not too loose. If you find that you're doing too tight of a chain, then go up 1 hook size just to make the chain, and then switch back to your smaller hook to start your project. So go ahead and chain 72, and I'll see you back here in a moment. Okay, I got my chain of 72. Now, normally if you wanted to start making it bigger to fit somebody, because like I said, this chain ain't going to fit nobody, maybe a baby. You want to go ahead and add 36 more chains, 36, 36, in sets of 36 until you get the size that you want. Then you want to add +5 when you're ready to begin. And since we're going to just do these 72 here, I'm ready to begin, so I want to go ahead and add my +5 now. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now you're ready to begin. you want to count 7 stitches from the hook. So you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And in the 7th chain, you want to do a double crochet. Then you want to chain 3 and skip 3. 1, 2, 3, and double crochet in the next stitch. And again, you want to do that 2 more times. Chain 3, skip 3. One more time, chain 3, skip 3. Now for next, you want to chain 1. You want to skip 3, do a double crochet. Then you'll want to chain 3, and in that same stitch, put another double crochet. Then chain 1. Then again, you'll skip 3 and do a double crochet. And then now for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So now you want to chain 3, skip 3 7 times. So chain 3, skip 3, 1, 2, 3, and double crochet. And that's 1. I'll do that 6 more times. Chain 3, skip 3. Okay. So you have your little V-stitch here, and you have your little space beside it. Now this was your first one of your chain 3, skip 3, double crochet. You count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Whoops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7 little spaces, and you should always count to make sure. So then you want to chain 1, and again skip 3 stitches, and then do a double crochet. Chain 3, you're making another V-stitch here, and then in the same stitch, put a double crochet. Then you'll chain 1, then you'll skip 3 stitches again and put your double crochet. The repeat for the 36 stitches, by the way, is this V-stitch here to this V-stitch here. That's 36 stitches. So now to end this row, basically you need to do just like you began, your 3 individual chain 3, skip 3, double crochet sections. So we just did a V-stitch, so now we need to chain 3, skip 3, 1, 2, 3, and in this one, double crochet. You want to do this 3 times, so that's 1, chain 3, skip 3, double crochet. That's 2, chain 3, skip 3, 1, 2, 3, and double crochet. And now that should leave you with 2 chains at the end of your row. To end it, you want to chain 1, skip 1 stitch, and in this very last stitch, you want to put a double crochet. And that will end your row 1. So for row 2, you want to chain 6. Let me just check my pattern here too. I'm trying to check both. Yep, chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And turn. Now you want to skip this first, these 2 DC chain 1 DC from last round, and go right into your section of 3 here, and in the middle chain you want to do a double crochet. I know it can be hard to find that middle chain. Sometimes it helps if you go from behind. And put a double crochet. Then you want to chain 3, find the next center chain, of the next chain 3 space here and do a double crochet. Then you want to chain 2 and you want to skip a whole chain 3 section and go to the next and find this V-stitch here where you did your V-stitch. This is the closest double crochet from the V-stitch here. You want to work into this stitch and put 5 double crochets into this stitch. So you're going to skip all the way over here to your V-stitch, and this first double crochet of your V-stitch, you want to put 5 double crochets. Just like that. See, there's the V-stitch, and this is worked right into there. Then you want to chain 1, find that middle chain, because you did 1 double crochet, you chained 3, and then it did another double crochet worked into the same stitch, which created your V-stitch. Now that chain inside the V-stitch, find the center chain of that 3 and put a double crochet. Then you want to chain 1 and you want to work 5 double crochets in the other double crochet of the V-stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then you want to chain 2 and you want to skip over one of the chain 3 spaces, and in the next one you want to find the middle chain and do a double crochet. Then you'll do your sets of chain 3, find your next center chain and do a double crochet. So now this was the double crochet section here, as you can see, 5 double crochets, and then you have your double crochet here, 5 double crochets. So this is the space afterwards where we just moved over to basically pull it and anchor it down. Now this one that we just did was our first chain 3 space. You need to do a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is going to be our first one. So go ahead and chain 3, find the next center, do that 4 more times for a total of 5. Whoops, I miscounted. We only needed 4. So I have 5 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm just going to back out here to my double crochet. Okay, so we actually needed to do 4. So now we're here. Go ahead and do your chain 3. But you're going to be skipping over this next chain 3 space here. Then you're going to go right and do the same thing here in your V-stitch that you did here, which was working 5 double crochets in the first part of your V, and then chain 1, double crochet in the center chain, then chain 1 and do your 5 double crochets on this side. So go ahead and do that, and I'll see you when you get back here. Okay. Then after that, you'll want to chain 2, skip this first chain 3 section, and then the next center chain, do a double crochet, then chain 3, in the next center section, do a double crochet, and then chain 3, and then you have a chain 4 here at the end, or chain 7 I should say, in the second chain from the top. So this is 1 chain, this is 2 chains, so this is the second chain. Put a double crochet in that chain to end the row. And that ends row 2. Now here's where I recommend that you go ahead and you measure your whole part. Like I said, from this V-stitch to this V-stitch is 36 stitches. So if you want to measure from this V-stitch to this V-stitch, I got about 25 centimeters. So for me, there's about 25 centimeters between 36 stitches. So that's how I'll figure out how big I need to make this garment, depending on how many centimeters that I had for somebody. So you should get an idea now of how big you want to make it. Then you can back out and get the right chains that you need. And then you can rewind the video and start again. And just remember now that it's bigger. So you're just going to continue the pattern, repeat the pattern, what you did from this V-stitch to this V-stitch until you get to the very end. When you get to the very end, you should have, just like this, you should have a V-stitch here, and then you just end it the exact same way. You'll always begin and end the row the exact same way. You'll just have a longer row, so you'll just be doing this section more down your row. I had to do this section 3 times before I got to the end, obviously, when I made my vest. So go ahead and rewind the video and get it the size that you need, and then fast forward it and we'll continue. Now for the rest of you guys that are back with me now, let's go ahead and start round 3. So to begin the next round, you want to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then turn. Now you want to do, you're going to be doing a lot of double crochets in the center chain of all these spaces that you're doing. Chain 3, skip 3, you're going to be doing the double crochet in the center of these chains a lot, pretty much through the whole thing. So find the next center chain, the first one of the round, and you'll put a double crochet into this center chain. Then you'll chain 3, find the next center chain, put a double crochet. Then you'll want to chain 3, and now you want to skip over here where you have your 2 chains here, and you'll want to put a double crochet right in this first, next to this double crochet here. Easier if I lay it down. See, this is your chain 2 next to your double crochet 5. You want to put a double crochet right here in front of the double crochet from last round. Just like that. See, double crochet here from last round, and then now this one. So now we're going to start on top of working on our double crochets from last round. We're going to be doing kind of a cluster. So you want to start by chaining 3, and then you're going to go into that first double crochet. Remember, you have 5 total double crochets here. You're going to go into that first double crochet, and you're only going to pull through 2, leaving the last hook on the hook, leaving the last loop on your hook. Yarn over, go into the next double crochet, pull up a loop, only pull through 2. Now you have 3 loops on the hook. Continue to do this, yarn over, go into the next, pull through only 2. You're only going to be pulling through 2 every time. Now I have 2, 4, 6 loops on my hook. Then you'll yarn over and you'll pull through all 6 loops. And then you chain 1. Now, that's your first cluster. Now, in between, you have a double crochet. And in this double crochet, you want to put 5 double crochets. So you're going to work 1, 2, let me go ahead, they say chain 1. I'm going to say go ahead and chain 1 to finish the cluster there, to tighten it up, and then go ahead and chain 1 again. Okay, just to give you a little space here. So chain 1 to close the cluster, and then chain 1 because the pattern calls for you to chain 1. And then start your double crochets. Your 5 double crochets worked into this center double crochet. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. After you have your 5 double crochets, then you want to chain 1. And then you'll repeat what you did here. You have to do your cluster. So you'll go in, yarn over, go in, pull through only 2, yarn over, go into the next, pull through only 2, Do this for all 5, leaving you, I believe you should have 6 again. Yep, 6 loops on your hook. Pull through all 6 loops and chain 1 to close it. Okay, when you've got done with your cluster, chain 3. And then in this first section here, you want to go ahead and put a double crochet before this double crochet in this chain 2 space here. Then you want to chain 3 in the next chain 3 space, put a double crochet, and you want to do chain 3 and then go to the center of the next chain 3 space here. You want to do this a total of 5 times. Okay, and here by your chain 5 here, remember you'll be putting your double crochet right in front, the stitch right in front of this double crochet. So you should have 5 complete chain 5 spaces and then kind of a half space here. So you should have 5 and a half right now. Then you want to go ahead and chain 3, and then you'll be working your double crochet the same way as you did before, going in, only pulling through 2 stitches at a time, creating your cluster. Now I just want to show you, now that I've done my cluster, you should count your spaces here. You should have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 spaces. If you don't have 7 spaces here, then check back, you messed up somewhere. Very important always to have the correct amount of spaces in between each motif. So anyway, you can finish your section of your motif just like you did here before, and I'll see you back here in a moment. So when you get done with your motif, you just continue doing what you did here for all of your motifs. Repeat it over and over again, and then when you make it to the end and you've done your last motif of the row, you'll chain 3, and then in this chain 2 space here again, you'll want to do a double crochet, then chain 3. See, again, right after the double crochet we have this little chain 2 space. Again, put double crochet there, chain 3, find the next center, chain 3 here best you can, put a double crochet, then again chain 3, and now you have your chain 6, and you'll want to put 1 double crochet in the second chain, so 1, 2, kind of from the top here, put a double crochet there, and then chain 1, and then skip 1 chain, and then in the 4th put another double crochet. Let's make sure, yep. So that ends round 3. So to start round 4, again you'll be chaining 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then turn. Then you'll skip over these first 2 and go right into the center chain, do a double crochet in the center chain of this next one, then chain 3, find the next center, the chain 3, and do a double crochet. Now we're reaching our motif again, so we want to do another chain 3, 1, 2, and 3, and we'll be putting another double crochet here before the motif. Then you'll chain 3 again, and then in this chain space between the cluster and your chain 5, your double crochet, 5 double crochets here. So you did a cluster, then you did a chain 1, and then you did 5 double crochets. Well, in this chain 1 in between these 2 clusters, the cluster and the fan of 5 double crochets, in that double crochet you'll want to put, in that chain 1 space in between, they want you to put a double crochet in that. and then chain 3, and you'll be doing another cluster using your 5 double crochets here. So again, yarn over, go into the first stitch, only pull through 2. We'll do that for all 5 of these double crochets, leaving you with 6 loops on the hook again. Pull through and chain 1 to secure, and then chain 3, and again find that chain space in between and do a double crochet in there. And then chain 3, and then near your double crochet here you'll want to put a double crochet. Okay, now we're past the motif section, and that's what it looks like now. Now we're into the chain 3, put it in the center chain. You'll want to do this for the next, count here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Do it 6 more times, and that will bring you up to this section here, and then you'll chain 3, and then you'll do it again in the chain 1 space again here. So you can rewind the video and show here where I showed you where to put all the double crochets, but just make sure in between your 2 motifs total, including these little space here after this cluster, you're going to need a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 spaces. So from this little space after the cluster to this little space before the cluster, you should have 10 spaces. So make sure that you count. Very, very important. So you've repeated it for your whole row and you've made it to the end now. I just put the double crochet in that chain space in between my 2 clusters here. I want to chain 3, and I'm going to go next to my double crochet here, put another double crochet just like you were doing before, chain 3, center of the next chain 3 spaces, chain 3, center of the next chain 3 space, chain 3, and then the second chain. So you'll skip this one chain, and then the next put your double crochet, and that ends row 4.